So thank you for joining us. We hold a monthly admin mastermind for the admins from the Toronto, Barrie, and Oshawa offices that Jamie Lee owns. And then
Cool.
we've mapped out topics for every month for the year. So this month it's going to be on AI and how best to support our admins. So I know you've got some things you want to share. So whenever you're ready, you can get started.
Cool. Okay. Hey guys, Danny Wood here. I'm actually from Keller Williams Energy, way back in the day before it was even called Keller Williams Energy. It was just called Energy Real Estate Brokerage. So that's cool. I'm no longer in the Durham area though. I'm out in BC, and you guys can hear me. You can see me. It looks like I'm gonna try sharing my screen. Entire screen share, and you guys can see it says "Welcome to Oshawa" here.
Yep.
Yeah? Cool. Okay, so we're going to use AI, and I'm going to show you how so the one thing I want to talk about AI is we actually don't want it doing our job as much as like we want it to like help us do our job. We don't it like eventually people are going to be like, "Oh man, AI took my job." Like we we don't want that to happen. How you currently use AI, because AI is pretty dumb, actually, honestly. It's like 20% of the time you use it, it's wrong. And a lot of times you end up putting so much effort, you might as well have just done it yourself, right? So I'm going to show you how I kind of blitz through things to use AI not to do the job for me, but instead to do little pieces. And I'm like the quarterback, and I'll just like throw the football in one direction and then I receive it back. And then I throw the football in another direction and I receive it back. So today I'm going to use the concept of if I wanted to use AI to create a handout, so something that we could, a 8.5, 11 piece of paper that's like a PDF that you can print. And I want it to be all about Oshawa and what would we talk about in Oshawa. So I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to go to Chat GPT and say, act as a real estate agent and write out the chapters for a book covering real estate in Oshawa, Ontario. Things like fun facts, history, location, and I actually came up with a couple myself. So we want to know the schools, the MLS areas. Actually, I'm just going to copy this. So far, I came up with okay, so I had already come up with my own brain. I'm like, okay, I want some history and fun facts. I want a brief intro about Oshawa. I want to know the future growth and development happening in the Oshawa area. I want to know about the parks, trails, the recreation, the schools and the education, the MLS areas and communities, and delete this stuff. Okay. What else should we consider? Okay, so I'm going to take this prompt and I'm telling it to act as a real estate agent and write out the chapters for a book covering covering I don't want to say Oshawa, Ontario. Okay, so far I came up with, and I already came up with my own ideas. So let's see what AI comes up with. And to be honest, this first list that I had written here, I actually used AI help me create that back in the day. So I'm going to not just use one AI tool. So this is ChatGPT that I use this one for, but I'm also going to go to DeepSeek. Whenever I go to DeepSeek, I never give it information. Like I never give it a list of my clients or contact information or anything like that. I only use DeepSeek for spitballing ideas. So DeepSeek is basically the Chinese version of ChatGPT, and everything that goes into it, um, who knows what they're doing with it. So that's why I don't give it any of my contact information. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with Google Gemini. So I'm going to go over to Google Gemini and ask it the same question. So then I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and see, did it give any, okay, you're off to a great start. Hits most, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Local economy and job market. Yeah, that might be a good one to talk about. Maybe neighborhood spotlights. That'd be cool. Actually, a neighborhood spotlight part where you're talking about like the Glens and well, if you know Oshawa, you'd know that. Cost of living and affordability. That could be cool if you actually broke down the sections of Oshawa of like where's the luxury pockets versus where's the more affordable pockets. That'd actually be a really good little chapter. Local service and amenities. Right. So I only liked a couple of them because we already had most of the good ones. Like all of these I already had written out. This one's a fun one, by the way. Instagram worthy spots. So if you ask Google or ChatGPT or anything for Instagram worthy spots for your city, so Instagram worthy spots in Barrie, Ontario, I don't know if it would come up with the Flying Brewery Monkey. No, Flying Monkey Brewery, but that's a cool spot. There's a whole bunch of cool spots, right? Um, so anyways, Instagram worthy spots is a really cool chapter for a PDF that we could hand out about Oshawa or about Barrie or about Toronto. Yeah. Okay, so I asked the same question to 3 different AI. Where's the answer for DeepSeek? I actually find the answers from DeepSeek to generally be on the better side. Okay, so they came up with basically the same ones. Yeah, you could have a seller section in your book. That's maybe not a bad idea, actually. Thanks, DeepSeek, for that idea. And then Google came up with some transportation, property. Oh, we do not want to talk about property taxes in Oshawa, let me tell you. Okay, so what I'm using is I'm using the AI to help me come up with just the table of contents. I'm not having it write the book for me yet. I'm not having it do any of that. I just want the ideas of like, okay, so for our table of contents, what are the chapters that we're going to put into it? So then I go back to my tool. I'm using Canva to do my layout. And I all I did was I created a page, like a page. I'm gonna give you guys this actually as a template. Share uh, template, copy. Okay, I want to put that in the Google chat so that you guys can have it. All right. So I'm gonna go back to my little guide here. So when I first started creating this, I'm like, okay, as a real estate agent, we always want to brand it as ourselves. So I created a little rider up at the top that you just like, if you want to change your photo, uh, edit. So if you want to change your photo, you would upload your photo, and then I've already got. So let's just say this is you. You just drag and drop. You can double click and make the photo bigger, reposition, and boom, Bob's your uncle. All right, so I'm going to go back to me. The QR code, if you click on it, nothing happens. And so what you want to do is go to apps, search the word QR, and you're going to see a whole bunch of them. It's this plain Jane white one. All the other ones are going to want money or your contact info, like create an account. This white one is Canva. It's free. So then I would just change my URL to be whatever your agent or team website is. So I'm going to put my contact Boom. Cool. Okay. And then obviously you would change the agent's name, their title, their brokerage, and all that. Over on the far right, I have not intended to solicit any buyers currently under contract, each office independently owned and operated. So you can edit that little disclaimer as well to be whatever you need for your rules and regulations for your advertising. And then I'll get to the photo in a second. So then my next step was to write out what are all the main topics that I want to cover in this book. And I'd add a couple from what we just did with the chat GPT here. I liked the neighborhood spotlight one was kind of cool. And cost of living and affordability. Yeah, so, like, you could almost combine the neighborhood spotlight combined with cost of living and affordability. So I would do, um, luxury living in Oshawa, and I would talk about the luxury neighborhoods, and then I would talk about, affordable, housing in Oshawa. So those could be chapters that I would add. So I would come here and literally just, like, manually type, "Okay, so those are gonna be pages 13 to 16 neighborhoods, blah, 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 blah." So you would put whatever chapters you want, right? Okay, now let's make an image for our headshot, like for the cover of this little thing. So I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to start a new chat and I'm going to say, um, please list off the major landmarks for Oshawa, Ontario. Mm. And you don't have to spell major correctly because AI knows what you're talking about. Okay, so we got Parkwood, the Automotive Museum, boom, boom, boom. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a couple. So I'm gonna say I like the Oshawa Museum. I like the art gallery. I guess we'll just do this for the fun of it. Canadian. So I would pick and choose my favorites. Uh, sure. So I would pick like five to six of like the biggest, most recognizable landmarks in the city that you're creating this for. So now I'm going to say, um, can you create an image saying, "Welcome to Oshawa," showing these landmarks? Um, do it in the style, because you can tell it what style to do. Do it in the style of Grand Theft Auto video game art cover. All right. So, if you don't know, Grand Theft Auto is a very violent game. The only reason I'm suggesting it is because they make really cool covers for their video games, and a lot of times those video games have landmarks like the Grand Theft Auto game. Anyways, you'll see. So we're getting an image. Oh, damn it. I should have been specific on size because I can tell it's making me a square, and I don't want a square. I want a rectangle. So I would use ChatGPT to create the image for me. I don't know that Google even does it, and I don't think DeepSeek does it either. So for this part of the project, I would just strictly be using ChatGPT. Oh, it looks like it's coming out pretty good though. Okay, while this is cooking, because we can see it slowly rendering. Actually wanted to show you guys something. So I didn't even realize how good um Canva's artificial intelligent like image generator was. I like chat GPTs because I can kind of like talk with it like it's a person, like it's a designer sitting beside me, and I can tell it what changes to make, where I'd be like, do it again, but make that house blue. And like it can do that sort of thing. Um Canva can't really do that, but it's pretty good at actually just making images. I'll say uh uh a man and woman looking out a spaceship window. And I want it to be in landscape, and I want what I like about Canva's version is I can kinda, like, get the sense of the style of, like, "Okay, I do want concept art." Alright, so I'm gonna do concept art of a man and woman looking outside a spaceship window. I the reason I thought of this is because yesterday I was creating a webinar for, systems checklist for real estate agents where it's like, we should do an audit, and we should review your Google business, we should review your realtor.ca profile, we should review your email signature, and it's kinda like I'm doing, like, this checklist. So I wanted this concept of a man and woman looking out, with a spaceship, kinda like a control panel. So this is cooking this image in the background now. Let's go back to ChatGPT. So it did that. It actually did a really good job of making it look like Grand Theft Auto. I want to do that again. Do it as a tangle. Okay, so it's going to recreate that image as a rectangle for me. And I don't know if you like the font. You can change the font by telling it to change the font. And I don't know if I actually like this Grand Theft Auto style. I mean, I do, but I don't. But that's what's cool about AI is you can just keep rolling the dice. It's almost like a Kinder egg. You never know what you're going to get, and you're always slightly disappointed when you get it. That's what happens with AI. Um, okay, so we are cooking an image in the background. So whatever image it makes for me, I'm just going to place it and put it here and pretend I'm happy. But this image here was the same thing. I asked it to do Grand Theft Auto style, showing all of the landmarks, and it actually put the car in the water, and I asked it to like move it back so the car is on the shoreline, and it did. So there. Anyways, here's a fun little image that we got for Oshawa. So, what is on our table of content? The very first chapter. So we're going to talk about the history and fun facts. So I go to the second page, and then here up at the top, I say history and fun facts. So you would double click this and edit it to be whatever your first chapter is. And then I went to AI and I literally asked it for history and fun facts about Oshawa. So if I go back here, this is still creating. So I'm going to open a new tab so I don't kill it. Go to ChatGPT. Um, I need the history and fun facts about Oshawa, Ontario. I'm going to copy that, send it to ChatGPT. Then I'm going to go to DeepSeek, send it to DeepSeek. Then I'm going to go to Google and send it to Gemini, which is Google. Okay, so it's going to talk about when it was settled. And like, remember I told you 20% of the time it's wrong? It just straight up lies. And I never want you to just, oh, do copy paste. You know what I mean? Because remember, you don't want AI taking your job. So do your job. So we are going to use the AI to do most of the research for us, but we're going to use our own human brain to actually fact check and just make sure everything it is saying is accurate, because otherwise you are now the one who's saying it and you are the one who's wrong. So I would take what Gemini has given me. I would scroll down here and I would take out the good parts of like, oh, I like this part, copy paste, and I would put it all in a Word document, and then I would edit it in my own flavor. Like I would edit it myself as a human being. But most of the work, most of the hard work is done. So I can cherry pick the good stuff that Gemini gave me. Then I'll go to DeepSeek. Where here? Fun facts about it. So it's going to talk about the indigenous roots. Probably the name Oshawa is definitely coming from an Indian term. Um, okay, so rise of the automotive industry. So we could talk about that. Good one. Fun facts about Oshawa. Bare naked ladies? Huh. Interesting. Jim Carrey lived in Oshawa as a child? Like, I don't know. I don't know about any of this, ChatGPT. Anyways, it would be fun. That would be a fun list of asking ChatGPT like celebrities that are from your area. You know what I mean? That stuff's interesting for people. So what I would do is cherry pick all of the good content that ChatGPT gave me, that DeepSeek gave me, and that Google gave me, and then I would put it all together in a Word document and edit it so that it actually just felt natural and normal coming from you. Then I would copy and paste that and then plop it right in here. And so maybe you need multiple pages because you have a lot to say about your beautiful city. So then guess what you can do? Copy, paste, and you can make multiple pages. So then I can paste the rest of my content that is talking about the history and fun facts. And then I rinse and repeat that entire thing. So what did I put for the brief intro? Oh, those are fun facts. So this will be. Oh, I guess I skipped a brief intro. What would I put for the brief intro? I don't know if I even like that one. Yeah, anyways, I would change the brief intro. Maybe make it about the team, make it about something. So anyways, future growth and development. So I want to know like what are all the things that are happening in Oshawa coming up soon? Like is there a new highway being put in? Is there an airport coming? Is there restrictions on the forest for some reason? Is there, you know what I mean? Like I would talk about that. So I would then come to ChatGPT. Oh, here's our image that we created. I'm just going to download that and pretend that I like it. I'm going to coming back to future growth and development. Okay, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to say research future growth and development in Oshawa, Ontario. Send that to ChatGPT. Send that to DeepSeek and send it to Google. All right, coming back to ChatGPT. Okay, let's talk about infrastructure and develop. No. Not really getting anything from here. I want to know like okay. Um talk about the I wanna know the specific upcoming projects coming up. There we go. Okay, cool. Oh, here's a good one. The GO Transit expansion. The Lakeshore East Line is being extended to Bowmanville with the new stations planned in Oshawa, Curtis, and Bowmanville. See, like this is good stuff to talk about because would that not increase the value of properties in and around where the expansion is going to be? Most likely, right? Um, Durham, Scarborough bus, okay. The university's getting expanded. So, like, each one of these so say okay, I'm like, "Oh, I like that. Go Transit expansion. Tell me more about the Go Transit expansion." So it's gonna research more about the Go Transit expansion, and then I would copy and paste just that part. So see how it gave me, like, a whole bunch of options, and I only found, like, a couple interesting? That's the thing, like, you're like, with AI, it's gonna keep throwing so much mud at you. You don't have to take all of the mud and use it, just take the little nuggets that are within that mud. Alright, let's see what it's doing. Where did it Oh, tell me more about the okay, here we go. So, so we would talk about the area of where it's going. That's cool. So yeah, so I would cherry pick of all of the different projects that are coming up. So let's see in my little guide here. If I go to future developments. So I already like did one for you guys. This one is specifically for Oshawa. But we're talking about the North Oshawa residential expansion, downtown. Oh my God, downtown Oshawa needs to be just like redone. Transportation and infrastructure. So we're talking about the GO train expanding. So like these are the types of projects that people want to know of like what's happening in your city. And as a real estate agent, it's good for you to know these little things because maybe some of this stuff on this year list, you're like, oh wow, I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? So this is like good little knowledge. So I would do that same thing on DeepSeek and I would do this same thing on Google. Actually, I will do that. Research. Future growth and development in Oshawa, Ontario. Okay, so I'm going to go to DeepSeek, and then I'm going to go to Google. Oh, there we go. Okay, so research. So, see anything stand out? Oh, 407 extension? Okay, so that would be a very good one to talk about as well, right? So far I got two good nuggets that I'm going to pull out of this, and I would do deeper research on like when is this happening? Where is it happening? Like what parts of the land and community are being affected. So like I'd have to do deeper research on each one of these. Downtown better get revitalized. Yep, and then there's a lot of fluff, like, most of this stuff is just fluff. But I found 2 good nuggets of, like, infrastructure and projects that are coming up around the corner. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna do a new chat. I just had an idea. Research grants and programs for first-time home buyers in Canada. So this would be a whole page I would actually put in this book. So if I go back to our guide, oops, if I go back to our guides here at the table of contents, I would maybe put, yeah, government program, real estate programs, government programs, something like that. And here, so we talk about these some like again, you got to fact check just because it's telling you numbers. Like I wouldn't just copy and paste this. I would actually be like, oh, well, what's the home buyers plan HBP? So then I would like Google search that and fact check to make sure what these numbers are actually accurate. So here's a couple options that you could put in your little book. Um, oh, and then it breaks down for British Columbia. Weird. Did it know that I'm in British Columbia? How did, huh, that's weird. Um, cool. Okay, so I would go back and forth, cherry pick, and then I would carry on. So if I go to this template, you'll see, so I'll zoom out here. So we got the main page and we used AI to help create the table of contents of what we're going to be talking about. We use AI to create the image, which I've already uploaded. So if I go to upload, so you'll upload your image that you created on AI, drag it and drop it. Right? I'm going to use the original photo because I liked it better. And then you're going to use AI to write out your table of contents. And then I've got these blank pages that you can like change the title up at the top. And you can make as many pages as you want for that chapter. And I've even got these are like, say, we're talking about the infrastructure or upcoming projects. We can talk about it with black and white text all we want, but people really like seeing visually. So if I would create a page that has photos of everything. So let's just uh, find under photos. I'll say find a picture of a highway. Like I would use actual picture of the highway from your city, in this case, Oshawa. But right now, because I'm with you guys, I'm just going to drag and drop stock photos. But um, what I want you to do is use this ugly page that just has like a picture of history. You're going to drag and drop, like if we're talking about the airport. Drag and drop. You know what I mean? Like this page would be way more visually appealing for people just to see a photo. And if I scroll in, you can write a short blurb. So like 407 expansion east to Bowmanville. You know what I mean? So you'll edit the little blurb for all of your photos. You'll put the location of where that photo is up here. So you can just double click and edit that. And I'm going to, yeah, actually, I will leave that. Never mind. Okay, so going down with our formula, then you would do what's the next chapter in your book. So here we're talking about future developments, and I've already done the research um, with AI to help me figure out like what's happening with North Oshawa, what's happening with downtown Oshawa, what's happening with the transportation. And then here we got more photos that you could put for each one of them. This would actually be a little Easter egg hunt for you guys and gals to go get photos of these things. Like actually hop in a car, grab a coffee, grab some Timmies, go for a little cruise around, and then you get 6 photos of 6 different things. And guess what else you got? You got 6 social media posts because each one of those could be a post for your social media. So we're going to talk about one of the chapters is the parks and the recreation. So I'm going to talk about the major parks. I'm going to talk about the major conservation and green spaces. I'm going to talk about the popular trails. And then again, I'm going to have a photo page for each one of those. Then I want to talk about the MLS area and the neighborhoods. So, like O'Neill, what's the average price in the O'Neill area? McLaughlin, what's the average price in McLaughlin? And sometimes it's like you guys have like an MLS where it's like E16 or something. So I don't remember what the numbers are, but let's just pretend McLaughlin E16. You know what I mean? You could actually put the MLS or community areas. So this would be a good little cheat sheet for people to just be like, "Oh man, I'm in a budget and I've only got 600,000 or 400,000 or whatever their thousands are." And they can just look down this list and be like, "Oh, Samac has a bunch that are in my price range." You know what I mean? So this is a cool little like cheat sheet that you could make for people, in my opinion. Schools and education. So I created this like little like chart. That way you can put the name of the school, the grade, so is it like grade 5, grade 8? Is it high school? Is it college? Is it university? So you would put like the type of school. And then what's the closest MLS area to that? So like if my school here was RS McLaughlin or Adelaide McLaughlin, then the closest MLS area would probably be like the Glens or something. So this is another little cheat sheet because a lot of people want to know, like, oh, if my kid goes to this school, what area should we be living in? So this is a good little cheat sheet that you should be making. We talk about the schools and education, so I use ChatGPT to summarize for me and do the research of the schooling in Oshawa. How many schools are there? Does it even say? Yeah, there's like roughly 30. Oops, if I scroll down, there's roughly 30 elementary schools, 10 secondary schools, there's college, university, there's all sorts of stuff. So I use ChatGPT to help me like summarize the schooling. And then we talk about transportation. Well, we want to know about the highways and major roads because we got to get around. Is there rail service in your area? Is there air support in your area? And what about the public transport? Again, I got a photo page for everything. So basically, every page that you write like this, um, boring. I mean, it's good. Put it in there because this is why we're here. But at the end of the day, if you just had like pictures, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So for every boring page you have written here, add a picture page right after it. Okay, so the next one, yearly events. So I asked the all of the AI, DeepSeek, Google, and ChatGPT, what are the yearly events that are happening in Oshawa? And it broke it down by month, and it showed me like when is Ribfest? It's in August. When's the doors open thing in the fall? Remembrance Day, November 11th. So yearly events is a fun one. We didn't put the Santa Claus parade. There's a whole bunch of extra ones. We would probably be able to put like 2 or 3 pages worth of events. And again, I would fill the boringness with photos of those events and Instagram worthy. I'm going to do that right now, actually. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to do a new search. I'm going to say Instagram worthy photo locations in Oshawa, Ontario. Cool. All right. So we got a bunch of Instagram photogram. I'm going to make my own app. I'm going to call it Photogram. I'm just going to knock off Instagram. Anyways, so here's a bunch of like Instagram worthy. Downtown Oshawa is not Instagram. You are going to get punched in the face taking a camera out in there. Anyways, there are a bunch of photogram worthy locations in Oshawa, Ontario. So I would use AI, I would use Google to help me research what those locations are. And then I would come back to our guide here and I would actually go get a photo of each one. Like, how fun is that? Like, your job is to just go drive and take photos of cool locations. right? So that's a fun day. So we would talk about Parkwood, get a photo of it, talk about Lakewood and the waterfront trail, get a photo of it, the art gallery, get a photo of it, downtown, you know what I mean? So pick and choose your Instagram worthy locations, and that's another fun little like handout that you can give to people that they are like, wow, that's so cool. All right. So at the end of your book, I would have some call to actions. So I created this little template page. Most of you, you have two call to actions. You ready to sell or you ready to buy? So I've got a ready to sell call to action, a ready to buy call to action, and then a call to action for more resources. Maybe you got buyer guide, seller guide, maybe you got vendors, whatever. I don't know. You got other resources, I'm sure of it. So I would just say call or text me anytime for the above list of resources, and you guys are going to get this as a template. So that is like legitimately how oops, I didn't mean to stop. All right, I'll come back to camera. So that's how I use AI to I don't use AI to do my work for me. I use AI to like go back and forth. I'm still the creator. I'm still the person who knows the vision of what I want. I just use AI to help me with doing the research and getting over like you know what the hardest part of writing a book is? Writing the first sentence, writing the first paragraph, just like getting something on the paper. So that's what I use AI for, is more to just get the ball rolling and to give me little pieces. Like most of what it gives is just absolute fluff. It's garbage. But there's always these little nuggets of like, oh, blind eye, I didn't even think to include that, right? So the more you work with it, the more you pull out these nuggets and the better your resources are going to be. So we just used creating like a community guide for Oshawa. Yeah, I mean, you make it for Barrie, make it for Toronto, make it for just your farm area. And then once you have that, you could make all sorts of handouts. You could make uh, questions to ask when thinking of selling, questions to ask when thinking of buying. Like those are also handouts that you could create. So, oh, somebody says, I just confirmed Gemini Pro, the version we get free with our KW Google platform, will also do images. Wow, cool. Okay, I didn't know that Gemini did images. So that's cool. Yeah. So I would use all of them creating the image. That way I could cherry pick because it literally is a Kinder egg. Like you don't know what you're going to get until you open it, and it's usually pretty cheap. Usually. So it takes a couple rolls of the dice to get it working for you. So that, my friends, is how I use AI to create content.
Danny, do you have some examples on how the admins can use AI to, say, create checklists for their tasks or checklists for their agents?
hmm Let me go back to sharing my screen. All right, so I'm going to go to ChatGPT, create a new one, and say, act as a real estate agent, creating a moving checklist for a home buyer.
Perfect. And then obviously
What
just they'll
about
modify it.
things? Yeah, so I'm gonna say, so I'm almost like talking to it. So what about things like uh, utilities, changing address, etc. Now, I
Perfect.
would like copy all of it. What I would end up doing is I would just copy all of this, boop, copy, open up a Word document or a notepad and paste it and delete all the garbage and just keep the 30% that makes sense for me. And I would just keep adding to it. So I'm gonna start a new one and say, ask it a question. What would you put in a moving checklist?
You can actually also just ask it to put it into a Word document. So I've done that where you can ask it to put it into a PDF or a Word document, and it'll do that directly for you. And
Okay,
open up
I'll
an
do
old.
that. Yeah, I'll do that right now. Something a realtor would hand out to a client. Okay, let's see. I've never had it. Oh, it didn't do the unless it's going to do the Word document at the end. Oh, it
So
didn't.
sometimes it might. My husband's very much into AI. So what
Probably Google.
version? Because he says O3 is the best one. Yeah, the O3 somehow can do more than anything else.
Okay, so I'm going to say make this a Word doc. And really, I would just copy and paste anyways, for the most part. I would just come down here. I would hit this copy button and then paste it into the Word doc. But anyways, okay, so here it is giving me some ideas on a moving checklist. And here, I'm going to show you guys something else. Issue, ISSUU. So if I search moving checklist, it actually searches a whole bunch of other real estate agents' guides that they've already finished. So here's a moving new home, new adventure. All right, let's check this out. What? Okay. Oh, maybe I gotta log in. Normally, I don't have to log in to see any of these. That's weird. Let's do another one. Moving checklist. So issue is really, really good because it has agents around the world that have uploaded PDFs, and you can search those PDFs. So you can search buyer guide, seller guide, community guide, and see what other agents are actually using. And don't rip them off, but just be inspired of like, oh, we should talk about something like that. You know what I mean? Okay, boring. That's not even what we're asking for. All right, let's leave here. Okay, now I gotta find a good moving checklist. Coldwell Banker West. Okay, Coldwell. Prove me right here. Here we go. All right. So nice. This is more like what I'm looking for. Let's make it bigger. All right. So you want to change your utilities. You got to change your phone. You got to change your government and public. So your income. Yeah, this is a true checklist. This one is actually exactly what we're looking for. So Coldwell Banker here made a whoa. Oh wow, they really give you everything. Huh. Cool. Yeah. I mean, this is very Americanized, obviously. Um, but yeah, even just this page, I would take these two pages here would be a good. So I use issue as inspiration. You can literally search anything. If I search real estate buyer, here's a whole bunch of them. Let's just do the Scottsdale. Let it load. All right. They're just talking about Scottsdale. Yep. See, I do like this. So this is kind of similar. So remember we were talking about like the parks and things. So here they got a photo of each park, they got the address of each park, they got whatever this part is, and then a little description. So that's a nice, like imagine you had a page for the parks in Oshawa and each one of them had a photo. Good idea. They got like a lot of parks. And then now we're talking about the schooling. So like see how it show they actually went above and beyond and did a map showing you like, oh, you're in this pocket. Financials, hospital. This is a really good little guide. Yeah, cool. Good job, Scottsdale. I like your little book. Yeah, so issueissuu.com. You can just go there and search anything, and it's got a whole bunch of real estate agents that are just uploading their PDFs. So how this tool works is people use it to upload their PDF and then embed that PDF on their website. What they don't realize is anybody like me and you can now search all of their PDFs. So many people don't know that. So anyways, ISSUU is great for any content you're searching. You can come here and you'll actually see real life examples of what other people in the real estate industry are using and handing out. And then I combine DeepSeek, Google Gemini, and ChatGPT to help me with doing my research. And then, oh, here we used at the beginning of our call, I was playing with Canva and I asked it a man and a woman looking out a spaceship window. And I like this one. That image as background, add some text, and I'm going to say, thank you. 100. Make it white. And this thank you is me saying thank you to you guys for hanging out with me while I talk to you about AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Does anybody
Yeah.
else have any questions on the call that they want to ask Danny before we convene for the time? No? I know Ruth, Caitlin. Yep, Ruth, go ahead.
Hi, Dan. That was great. Thank you.
Hi.
Quick question for you. I've been, should turn on my camera because that's rude. There we go. What's it called? I've been working with Carlos and all of the AI possibilities that we've got for a while. Do you have any tips and tricks on better prompt writing? Because I know, as you were saying, ChatGPT sometimes spits out a lot of garbage and it's not always great. And, that can be said for pretty much all of the AI systems because they're learning as we're asking questions, right? So do you have any resources or tips and tricks for us to learn better prompt writing?
Yeah, so a lot of times before I even start, so say I'm like asking it to make me a real estate agent bio, like I need an updated bio. So I normally people would go right to ChatGPT and say, make me a bio as a real estate agent. Now, I would say I need a bio as a real estate agent, but before you start, what questions would you have to make this a better outcome? And then it gives you a whole list of possibilities. And then from that, I'll write my prompt. That's a really, really good way of starting it because normally, um, if you ask a basic question, you're going to get a basic response, and that's the power of prompting is because you have to be very, very specific because AI is so literal with everything we say, and if we're just being so vague at the very beginning, then of course it's just going to make up fluff because it has no clear direction of like what you actually want. So I always get it to like before you start. So say I'm like making the checklist. I'm going to make a checklist to give my buyers and sellers who are moving in Oshawa. But before you start, what what should we cover in this checklist? And it's going to give me a list. And then I'll usually say, give me 20 more. And that forces it to give me like 20 random more things. And like 5 of the 20 would be worthy of keeping. So I kind of play that game with it a lot. And I have a webinar on, let me find it. Hold on. I have a webinar I did on prompts. I got it for you. 1 second. I got 2 videos. One video is all the prompts for Midjourney, which is image creator. And I got a bunch of really good prompts that like specifically show you how to make certain styles. I'm going to get you that video. And I have another one on AI for ChatGPT. Bear with me. I'm getting the video here. Oh, okay. I got this one and this one. We'll do this one. Okay, I got both videos for you. So,
Thank you.
yep, copy. And it's in the Zoom chat. So this one and this one. That first link I just gave you is really good because it shows you really cool art styles of ways you can get images made. And then this next one is just about ChatGPT specifically.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Caitlin, I think you had a question as well. Are you still on the call, Caitlin? Yes.
Yeah. No, I think, yeah, just the good prompts, because I've been trying to use it and just, yeah, I think sometimes get frustrated because, as Danny says, it just spits out nonsense sometimes. And so I think it's just almost a trial and error of just using and getting used to what prompts to use.
Always get in the habit of before you hit enter, just say before you start, what would you add or consider? Just to
Okay.
see what it says.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, because I think there's just, yeah, lots of nonsense that I actually just asked it to like shortcuts to use for real estate agents, and it kicked back some good things like just welcome kits and deadline trackers and all this stuff. So I think I'll throw that in and try to use that and see what it comes up with.
What do you mean by shortcuts? What's that?
It's just how to make our jobs easier. Like just, yeah, like it said it could throw in, like if I threw in an agreement of purchase and sale, like what important dates do I need to know about, and how, like, and then remind me of those dates, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, you can use AI for everything these days now, really.
Yeah, because it just said deadline tracker, list every critical date in this purchase of a purchase agreement and suggest calendar reminders. So just, yeah, using just, I guess, different ways as admin we can use it for. I feel like I don't know what I don't know about what it can help us with. So just, yeah, just
so
hard to know.
Use AI as an extension of the things you do know.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that you're currently working on.
Okay.
Of like whatever, maybe it's social media, maybe it's like creating the list. Yeah. I mean, you can load things into the Google Gemini. The problem is when it's wrong, it's very wrong, and it could miss a lot of big things. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't rely on the AI doing anything for me other than being my little assistant on like spitballing ideas, and I'm still the quarterback putting it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I think in the room here, some people were saying for like listings, they would take whatever the agent puts in a listing and then put it into ChatGPT just to summarize it smaller or something for like social media posts.
Yeah, I'd be good at that.
To abbreviate it.
And we could switch over, like, hey, make this into an Instagram friendly post with hashtag and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you could also just with it, just so whatever.
Oh,
And it'll
you guys,
be all-
that second link I gave you is all about the different prompts of using ChatGPT for real estate.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's perfect. Okay, good. Anybody have anything else for Danny? And then if not, we'll just turn the rest of the call into a mastermind around some ideas here. But if anybody has anything else for Danny, let us know. And no,
I put my Instagram in the chat, and I'll put my cell number. There you go. You guys can, if you got any of you have questions or want to call or text, you can. And obviously connect on Instagram.
amazing.
Facebook.
Thank you.
Oh,
Cool.
All
Okay,
right.
well, thanks.
Thank
you, Danny.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so
Sure, sorry about that.
that's okay. That's okay. So we'll just spend the next half hour just going around the room and just sharing like, is there something specific you're looking for AI to help you out? Maybe somebody else on the call has already got an idea to share, or if you want to share what you are doing that you didn't know AI could really help you guys out with, that other people can then learn on the call, or is there something else you want to talk about?
I use ChatGPT every day. I'll start. I
Yep.
really like it. It's constantly open. I use it. I ask it a lot of questions. I feel like it's my friend.
Yeah.
Because we ask it for everything, but like Danny says, I don't rely on it. It's more of, I need a template for something. And
Mhm.
you help me get that template started, and then I just input the
starting
answer.
point. Like you have so
Yeah.
much. Well, you've got like the
Yeah.
huge, what do you call it? Brainstorm happening in
Yeah.
your head. You're like, I don't know how to put this together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Take everything, stick it in ChatGPT and be like,
Yeah.
I need it to be this. And then it'll put
Yeah.
it in an actual format. I'm like, can that start to make sense? Now I know
Yeah.
where I need to start, where I need to go. Like,
And sometimes like, I know what I'm thinking,
yeah.
but I can't get it out, or the right professional way to say it. So I'll say, this is what I want to say, make it very professional.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I get the call
Yeah.
button all the time on the email.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too.
We've always had people email, but we just wanted to give more and really put it in place. So I just used it to update all of our emails.
Mhm, mhm.
Most of it was just what we already had. I put it in, I said, just update it.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, what other email should I be
When you
giving
mean
my
email,
seller?
you mean like you may have like templates or scripts that you use, like,
Yeah,
hey,
like-
this one's just signed, here's things that,
Yeah, so like we have, thank you for listing, like here's a link to your paperwork. We've always had, but they were like dinky.
Yeah. I
So
do that
just-
with all of our agent onboarding scripts. I put through all of our scripts through it as well and just
Yeah.
revised it to polish it,
Yeah.
sound better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also like it too with the photo aspect of it now, it's been playing in the back end more of on a personal level, that you can stick the photo in there. Like say I took my son's house, put it in there, they want to paint the outside.
Yeah.
I said, what would it look like this? And it's, okay, it doesn't actually keep the brick, it makes it more look like siding,
Yeah.
but it keeps all the details and it
Mhm.
changed the color. Okay, I don't like that color, now try this one. And then, and then it actually tells you, okay, I like this one. What is that called?
Mm,
Sherman number.
really?
Everything.
Wow.
Like color. I take a picture of the room, be like, change the wall color to, what is it? What's that? Like any brand and certain color that's actually out there, you can type that in and it'll change the color.
Interesting.
My question is, do you guys have, I was just saying.
I'm not
for-
pro. I don't know. if that's
Okay,
what
yeah,
we all
because
do.
Yeah.
mine for work will not do pictures. It just in constantly. Like I
Mine,
will.
I've
not
noticed that
make
it
any-
slows down
Okay.
and it takes a while.
Oh, no.
Whenever I walk away.
Yeah, it won't at all.
So I
You leave it open for the day and it just will not generate any photos.
So what we found out at the AI Day a couple weeks ago, so if you have activated your KW email address, even if you don't use it for KW emails, if you activate your KW email address, it gives you the full access to the full Google Suite platform. And one of those platforms is Gemini Pro version. So I've actually I exported all of my ChatGPT, which I was using the free version. I exported all of the chat and I copied them all into the Gemini Pro. So I just tested it. It did give me, I mean, it's not a great photo, I'll quickly share it, but like how Danny said, I think if I gave more detail on what I was looking for in the photo, it would do that. So this is the photo. I just said, what did I say? Create an image using CN Tower, Science Center, the ROM using Grand Text Auto Video Idea, because that's what he was going on. So I got something. So, and it was pretty quick. So the Gemini Pro, like I said, if you only use your KW Gmail platform for the free Gemini, do that. The other thing too, just to plug your G Suite, you have unlimited storage in your KW account, Google Drive. So if you are using a different way to store things, your Google Drive with KW is unlimited. So especially like a lot of the videos and the photos and stuff, that'll add up quickly.
Yeah, I find Gemini works a lot faster than ChatGPT, so I have switched over Gemini.
I wonder.
Yeah.
There's a realm where everybody ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I just wanted to share that. And then what else are you guys using AI for right now?
Make my spreadsheet better.
Whoa, make your spreadsheet better? Okay, talk to me.
We can, Gemini is part of the Google Suite. You can go into your documents and then get them to update them and tell you, not update them, but how can I make this better? This is what I'm trying to accomplish. And then it'll pop
Really?
ideas out.
Could you just put like the URL link that
No,
your
right
sheet is?
into it, right into the doc. And then it'll pop that little Gemini on the side.
Meaning if you open up a Google Sheet?
Yes, there's the little, the little symbol it has, you click that, a little chat window pops up.
Okay, I'm gonna, yeah.
And it changed everything.
yeah, Trevor just did something recently.
The only
I
thing is
wanna
it
see that
doesn't
Google Sheet.
integrate from like what I needed to do, it integrate from my email, so I could be like, update this sheet for this client that this
Oh,
is done,
okay,
or
that's
add
great.
this date. It won't do that yet. They're not integrated yet, but
Okay, I'm gonna use the thing that,
I don't have the version that supports it, because it would be right at the top by the share. I had to upgrade mine to get it.
So even though I've got the Gemini Pro, interesting.
So
I wonder if I just have to change my account though.
it'd be in between the share and your profile picture.
There would be here somewhere? Interesting. Okay, so I'm just curious then, what does the Gemini Pro with KW give us access to? So you're using Gemini Pro
Separately.
paid?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so sorry, so you go to the Google Sheet and there's a button you press. And,
And then you can ask it if I'm an admin, this is what I want to.
oh, it's got the Gemini symbol. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me just show people on the call.
Like it's a game changer when I was able to make my tracking spreadsheet.
It's not going to be very long. So just right up here, you could see the Gemini Pro icon. Okay. And you just press the button and you ask the question and it's right there
This
within.
is what I'm trying to do. How can I make this better? And I made 3 out of most of my sheets. You want to use the most better?
Okay, I'm going to look into that then and find out how different is our Gemini Pro account with KW versus the paid Gemini Pro.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody use Gemini Pro paid right now?
No.
No.
I'm still slowly getting myself used to using ChatGPT.
Yeah, okay. It's KW first.
For a way, I don't.
Paid. Gemini Pro. Well, that seems really cool though, because you can do spreadsheets all you want, but to add in like suggestions on how to make it better, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, how to streamline it, and you can get it through some of the commands I don't understand, but it's like it's this column and this column. If the closing date's in this column, but the compliance check is false, highlight the address in this column and it does that automatically and wrote the code.
Oh,
So I
I
don't.
put
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would love
And
that.
then you can be like, sort by this column, and this column, and it does it for you.
I like that too, because you don't always know, like Google, even Excel, like you have so many at if or at functions. You don't even know which ones to use or how to program it properly to get the results you're looking for. So I like that.
And you're able to go undo it. That's not what I wanted. And,
Mhm.
oh yeah, it's huge.
Okay.
Now if I can get to update it for me, that'd be different.
Yeah. And then what about those of you on the call? Are you guys using AI for anything right now for your business that's working really well? Ruth, you're nodding.
Yeah, I use it a lot for once we launch a listing, because there's so many tasks to get it marketed. After we've launched the listing, I throw the MLS into ChatGPT or Gemini and say, create a marketing plan for this property. And it'll spit out, okay, post this on this day, this on this day, this on this day. Then I ask it to write, what's it called? Descriptions for Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I want a YouTube description. I want high search engine optimized hashtags to go with it. Can you give me music to put to my photo deck, like that kind of stuff? And it spits it all out. And I literally just have to go, oh, okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's shaved probably about an hour to an hour and a half off of my marketing time for a property to go out, which is fantastic. I use it a lot for newsletters as well. Like when we're doing mailers for our farm area. So on like the mass emails and regular mailers as well. But I'll get Barb to give me 5 points that she wants to talk about. I'll throw those in there and say, write me a newsletter based on these. And then I will always give that back to her saying, okay, here's what ChatGPT or Gemini gave me. Rewrite it in the way that you want, but it gets her wheels turning at least. So it shaves off all of the, okay, well, I'm going to think about writing this newsletter one of these days and it'll eventually get out, right? So it helps me with that. At the beginning of the year, sorry, go ahead.
Newsletter. My husband's a real estate agent here, and he was telling me he's been using the Chat GPT. He'll put his newsletter in chat and he'll say, rewrite this for a high D personality.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? So I'm like, this is interesting. So
one of the other things I did is at the beginning of the year, I asked it to create a calendar of social posts for me for just random stuff so that it fills up our feed and they're fun things that people, might be interested in. So National Oreo Cookie Day or, Groundhog Day, so on and so forth. And then I said, connect to my Canva and give me templates for all of these. And it did that. So yeah, I have I think 36 posts that I'm able to just throw onto our social media. And I don't even have to do that if I connect our Canva to social media because then it just schedules it for me. So obviously I review everything that it creates. Sometimes I find when I'm writing listing descriptions with the help of AI, it'll miss a comma or a semicolon, or it won't put a space. It doesn't like the Canadian version of neighborhood or theater. But those are the things that you have to look out for. So as Dan was saying, it's one of those things you have to actually review. Don't just say, yep, this looks good. We also had, I had Carlos help me. There's a couple of really like heavier versions of AI, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, those kind of things. They're really surface of what AI is actually able to do. We had a property that was an absolute must sell situation. It was in the $2.6 million range. So I can't just go and throw an Instagram post up and, fingers crossed that somebody's going to see it. I need people that are of a certain demographic to be able to see this. So I asked Carlos to take the listing, put it into one of his heavier AI systems, and spit me out a marketing plan based on LinkedIn. and it gave me 26 pages of information on how to increase our visibility on LinkedIn and promote the listing all at the same time while getting it in front of the right people. It was incredibly dense. Thankfully, somebody came and bought it before I had to implement that, because it would have taken me a really long time. But it gave me so much information. I actually had to have him redo it so that it made it smaller. But if you have a property that you're really having a hard time, selling, or it's a must sell situation, ask the AIs that you're using, okay, this is the property. Give me 3 different angles from which I can sell this. We just did one. It was a ground floor condo. We said, give us another scenario of who's going to buy this condo. And they said, well, maybe people looking to purchase for their kids. Okay, that's a great angle. Give me a marketing plan around that. And it did, and we implemented it and we got it sold. So it worked out exactly how it was supposed to.
Great. Okay. Caitlin, what about you? What are you using?
Ruth, that was great information, because we have a property that should have been sold 2 months ago, and it is just, the berry market right now is absolutely insane with our houses where we're trying to sell. Yesterday, we have a listing coming up north, commercial, a business and property, and she just sent me pictures, screenshots of her phone, of her notes app, of like just financial information and stuff like that. And I was like, I do not want to sit here and type that all out. So I threw the picture into ChatGPT too, and just said, turn this into a text. And it was able to do that in 30 seconds, which probably saved me at least, well, only probably 10 minutes of typing it all up, but chattels and fixtures lists as well. She sent me 4 photos of that. So just, yeah, using it to pull text out of pictures too has been helpful for me. But yeah, I've tried to use it for, property descriptions. And again, it's, a beautiful kitchen. And I'm like, sorry, I don't agree with you on that. This isn't a beautiful kitchen, but
Caitlin, that's where the prompt writing comes in. Like
and that's
the
what
importance
I
of
think you need.
Prompt writing is so important, because you can say, write this in the Gothic style. If I want a property described in the Gothic or Baroque style, like, cool. But you can tell it, please don't go too hard with your adjectives. Don't use the same, a synonym for beautiful 10 times. Yes. I need this to be rewritten in the style that would, appeal to somebody like Oscar Wilde, like whatever it is you're getting at. Prompt writing is so important, because as Dan said, if you give it a basic description, it's going to give you a basic answer.
Yeah. And I think it sometimes fluffs it up too much too, or it just like goes way overboard, and you're like, no, this is like a $400,000 listing. Like, it is not needing like crazy adjectives to sell this place. Like, so yeah, we're struggling with that, but yeah, no, the marketing for the house that we need to sell would be helpful. So I'm going to throw that in. See what it comes up with.
Anybody else want to share or ask a question about AI?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have any of you used it to help strategize your regular daily tasks, and then any tasks that get thrown at you to figure out which is higher priority?
You have Gmail?
Yeah.
If you had Gemini in it as well, you can say what emails are important, most important, and then what do I need to follow up with today that it'll spit that information out.
I'd like that in my Microsoft Office program.
Copilot can
Oh.
do it the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should look into that, because we have a paid Office program.
And Copilot does the same thing inside the Excel sheet, the Word document, as Gemini does.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The free version, I think you have 15 credits or so a month.
Good. All right, anybody else have anything? Was it helpful? Do you have some ideas that you can, I mean, I know for like the staff perspective, we've talked a lot about the staff, just, you have to start using it to start seeing what it can do. Little tidbits here and there I pick up, like the revise for this, positioning, or make it a little softer, or be a little more direct. Like, I find, you're right, it's teaching it the prompts of how to talk to it. But I think too, Ruth, the question about neighborhoods for US, I think you can even teach the AI to, I don't know, use a Canadian spelling or something like that. So you're not having to,
You can tell
Edit
it,
all that?
okay, I want Canadian version spelling and grammar, and it'll
Yeah.
confirm if it's using it and if it's switched on
Right.
or off. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Good.
it also makes a difference if like you have a paid account versus a non-paid account, right? Because it'll keep everything into your archive. So I keep having to remind it because we don't have a paid account yet. So when we're, once I do have a paid account, then I'll say, this just an FYI, keep in archive. I am located in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Please keep this in mind when, you're using your spelling, because you have to teach AI, as you said, like what it is that you're looking for, how you are going to be using it. Carlos sent me a prompt not too long ago to try and cut out some of the fluff. It's almost like a warning to AI to like, do not give me fake news. Like, do not give me false information. This is your warning. And so it remembers that once you've put it into your archive, to be able to try and get some of the garbage out of there, because it takes forever to have to go through it. Right. And if you have to fact check what you're supposed to be, the artificial intelligence is supposed to be teaching you.
So Mark Rodney is also on the line with us from MB Digital. So he put a comment in the chat that says, one thing that may help is to ask ChatGPT what it needs to know to give you the best results. It'll ask a bunch of questions and that will help refine the results. So that's something else too. So thanks for that, Mark.
Camera ready.
Sorry, not cat. That's okay. Okay, good. So we'll send out the recording. I've got the link that Danny also put in the chat, so I'll put that in there as well. And then, so just to prepare for the next couple of months, so we're taking July and August off for the summer, and then we're back in the fall. So we've got September, October, November. Our topics are client thank you gifts, Excel and Google Sheets, and NLP training. So we'll look at who we can get for speakers for those three and then fit which speaker into which month accordingly. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have an awesome day and we'll talk to you guys all soon. Bye.
Debbie's here waiting for you.
I know we have